All right. So let's first go over 99 bottles. So here I am at Platoon's curriculum repo. I'm going to go to week 1. I'm going to open that into a new tab. So week 1, you can kind of see everything that we're going to be covering this week: Git, version control basics, GitHub, JavaScript fundamentals, Python fundamentals, etc. So we're going to go to day 1 because that's where the challenges from yesterday reside. And I'm going to scroll down all the way down and open up 99 bottles into a new tab. So the first thing I need to do, I'm in Platoon algo 99 bottles, algo because it's an algorithm challenge. And yeah, so we're at Platoon 99 bottles. The first thing I'm going to need to do is fork this over to my personal GitHub. And the way I do that is up in the upper right-hand corner. I have this little fork button. And if I click that, it's going to bring up should I fork this? And these are all the different GitHub organizations I can fork to, but I want to fork it to my personal GitHub. So that is at Tom Preet. So if I click that, it's going to make a copy of the algo 99 bottles and copy it directly over to the Tom Preet, my personal GitHub. So right now I can tell I'm on my personal GitHub because I'm at Tom Preet up in the upper left-hand corner, algo 99 bottles. And you can also see the URL is Tom Preet algo 99 bottles. So I literally just made a copy of the 99 bottles to my personal GitHub. And you can kind of see here, it says Tom Preet algo 99 bottles, and it's forked from Platoon 99 bottles. All right. So now I made a copy of it.
That's a quick question real quick.
Yep.
So whenever you fork from a different place to your own, does it also like reflect the changes that are made in there?
Wait, say that one more time. So if I fork it, it reflects the changes in where?
So if they make a change to the 99 bottles algorithm, or like what you're looking at right now, if they make a change to that in code Platoon, will also show up here?
Only if I fork it. So if I just go into, so I'm going to go back to Platoon algo 99 bottles. If I made a change in here and pushed it up here and like made a change in here, it wouldn't, I'm going to go back. It wouldn't automatically reflect the change in my personal one. I'd have to like essentially fork it over again.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So I'm here at Tom Preet 99 bottles. So again, it's on my personal GitHub.
Actually, sorry, question that too.
Yep.
Question 2 is if you did fork it over, so if you did make changes and you forked it over, would it overwrite the one that you currently have?
It would. So if I already forked it over and I forked it over again, it would just make a second copy of that. Or actually, I don't know. So are you saying if I forked it over again?
Yeah, would it just?
I actually tried that.
No, it wouldn't.
And
It's already forked. See how it says you've already forked algo 99 bottles? So no, that wouldn't happen.
Okay.
All right.
Is there a way to just update your fork instead of having to completely refork it?
I'm not quite sure. And honestly, there will be very rarely where you have to update. Like I will rarely ever have to update Tom Preet's 99 bottles. Or if I ever update Platoon's 99 bottles, it's very rarely that I would ever have to update the Tom Preet's repo. So the likelihood that you'll ever have to update your repo based off of another repo in this scenario is rare. And yeah. But we'll get to updating your code on your local machine from a repo at a later time, because that specific scenario, you will be able to update code, but it's only on your local machine. And if you ever need to, it's just easier just to delete it and fork it over again. All right. So I'm currently on my personal GitHub, algo 99 bottles. Now I need to get this code down on my local machine because right now it's only stored up on my GitHub. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a new VS Code window. So here's my VS Code window. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you all can see that a little bit better. And I'm going to open up the terminal right here. You can also go to terminal, new terminal. And I'm going to navigate to a specific directory. How do I navigate to my desktop? Or how do I first, how do I see all the directories where I'm located at?
WD.
I heard LS. All right. All right. I've got LS. So now I'm going to go to my desktop right here. So I'm going to CD to my desktop like so. So now I am located in my desktop. I'm going to list everything out in there by LS. And I've got a bunch of stuff in here, but what I'm looking for is Code Platoon challenges right here, CP challenges. So I'm going to CD into CP dash challenges and press tab to auto complete that. Now I'm in CP challenge. I'm going to clear the terminal by typing clear. It clears the terminal. So I'm in CP challenges. I'm going to list everything out in here. Now I've got kilo challenges, but I want to get into my Papa challenges. So I'm going to CD into Papa challenges. List everything out in here, and I don't have anything out in this directory. So what I'm going to do is open up a new VS Code window that's in this specific directory. So I can type in the command code -R, is it A or dash period? And so what that's going to do is reload VS Code, but now in the Explorer, I'm located within the Papa challenges directory. And I can see that by coming in here, Papa challenges. All right.
Quick question on that. So other than you just knowing that command, is there like a cheat sheet quick reference somewhere to figure out how to like know to type in /R, dash, dot, all that stuff? Like
That part, like code dash.
Yeah. So obviously you just know that, but is there a place for us to kind of start acquiring that knowledge?
I think when you did install fest yesterday, you did the code command. So I forgot what the
Right. Yeah. Code command. I understand it just launches VS Code, but just knowing that R and dot and that type of stuff.
I think, I don't know if there's a cheat sheet somewhere, but there might be. Like you can do like VS Code cheat sheet.
Or just doing a -H. It'll give you all the flags. I mean, that can be helpful. Code -H.
Code -H. And here we go. We've got a bunch of different flags.
Okay.
There's a bunch of stuff.
That's pretty useful. That'll give me something to look at to try and start learning that stuff.
All right. So I've got 99 bottles up here, and now I just need to get it down on my local machine. So over here, this code, this little green button code, I'm going to click that, and I can clone this down to my local machine by either copying this link or just pressing this button here, which copies it to my clipboard. And now I can come over here to my VS Code command line and say git clone and paste that link in here. And it's literally just the link to the algo or the 99 bottles challenge. So watch over here, watch what happens in this file or this Explorer when I click that. So I click that, it's cloning 99 bottles, looks like it's all good. Now I have this folder with the 99 bottles challenge here. Questions about forking, cloning?
I have a question about terminals. Is it best to use iTerm and then do the rest in VS Code, or could we do it all in VS Code?
iTerm is just specifically for Mac. I would personally just use VS Code terminal, built-in terminal.
Okay. So we could do the beginning steps in there too.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. but it's also personal preference as well. If you want to use iTerm, you can definitely go ahead and just use that as well. But I figured
Okay.
I'm going to be working in VS Code all the time, so I might as well get used to working in the VS Code terminal as well.
Right.
Cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, good question. All right. So I'm in 99 bottles. I'm going to open up the JavaScript code right here. And I can also open up the README, but let's just look at the README up on here. So the premise of this program or this function is just to write a program of the 99 bottles of beer song, which goes something like 99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99 bottles of beer, take one down, pass it around, 98 bottles of beer on the wall. And it repeats that entire process all the way down until we get to one, where to take one down, pass one down, one bottle of beer on the wall. So if there's plural, it's bottles. If there's only one left, or if it's singular, it's just bottle. And then the last one, take one down, pass it around, no more bottles of beer on the wall. So pretty much all this is repeated until we get to here, and then these lines are unique. So it says, take note of how bottles turns to bottle at the right time. You can certainly use while loop, for loop, or for each, and various other built-in methods. So make your code able to account for any bottle amount. All right. So the first thing we're going to do, let's just account for, let's see, let's just try to get it to count from, let's just try to make it account for any type of bottle amount. So instead of just always starting at 99, let's be able to make this a little dynamic by typing in a number and have it count down from that number. So to keep it simple, let's just try to have it count down from 10. In order to do that, I'll need to pass in an argument or a parameter. So I'm going to pass in like start num, and that start number down here is going to be 10. And in here, I'm just going to copy this over just so I kind of know what the song looks like. So what I can do is, let's see. So while a number, so looking at this here, while the number is greater than 1 or greater than, or yeah, we'll figure it out. Once the number, while the number is greater than 1, it's going to repeat that phrase. So I can say, and we'll make adjustments as needed. So while start num is greater than 1, I'm going to have to console log this. Whoop. And if at any time you see me doing some like shortcuts or doing some things with VS Code and you want to know how, just interrupt me and say, hey, how'd you do that?
On that note, how did you comment out?
How did I comment that out? So I can do command ? or command / and it'll comment out. It'll automatically comment out all the lines that I have highlighted.
How did you relocate the code without having to copy and paste it? Like you kind of just dragged it.
Yep. So I just hold Alt or Option and press up and down. And I'm able to do that. So I'm able to move that as well. So I'm going to console.log everything. So console log 99 bottles. So I guess this was 99, and I'll also have to do that down here. Like so. All right, so I've got 99 bottles of beer on the wall, but we don't want to start with 99. We want to start with 10. So I can do some string interpolation. And so instead of just a normal string with quotes, I can use backticks for string interpolation. And I can embed expressions within my strings. So I could use the question mark or the $sign followed by curly braces, and I'm able to put like variables and stuff in here. So using the backticks, this is called string interpolation, and I'm able to embed variables and do some like dynamic conditions in here. And I can embed variables within string interpolation by putting quote or curly braces followed by $sign. And I don't want this to be 99. I also want this to be start number as well. And then take one down, pass it around, and then instead of start num, this would be start num -1. So I just want to try to get this to work. After I go loop through this, I'm going to have to start num up. So here's where the first issue is. Let's say let num bottles equal start num. And then instead of start num, I'm going to call this num bottles. So the first time it goes through, we're reassigning or we're assigning num bottles to the start num, where the start num is 10. So if num bottles is 10, 10 is greater than 1, it comes into this console log. 10 bottles of beer on the wall, 10 bottles of beer, take one down, pass around, 10 -1, which is 9, 9 bottles of beer on the wall. And then since this is a while loop, I'll have to decrease num bottles by 1 by either doing minus or equals num bottles -1. So if I run that, I'm going to clear the terminal. I'm going to list everything out. So let's actually try to run this. So I need to CD into algo 99 bottles, list everything out. I've got my 99 bottles JavaScript challenge right here. How do I run a JavaScript file in the terminal? Kevin.
With the
Yeah, you could just type in a node space and I guess the file name.
Awesome. So node space and then the file name. And I can do 99. And then I can press tab to autocomplete and then JS. Uh-oh, what happened?
You
Let's
still
see.
have the start num in all those tick.
Awesome. So I've got start num in here, which I need to replace with num bottles. So I'm going to highlight all of those and type in num bottle, not bottles, bottles. Let's try to run that again. Might still get some undesired output.
Bottom statement, you're still using regular quotation marks instead of backticks.
Yep. So notice down here, it says take one down, pass it around, $sign num bottles -1 bottles of beer on the wall. So that is because I'm still using regular quotes. I need to use backticks for that because we need string interpolation. There we go. So let's clear the terminal and let's run that again. And let's see if we get a desired output. So we get pretty much down to 1 bottles of beer on the wall. All right. So after, let's just say after it gets down to 1, we're almost there. There's some hiccups here with like the bottles being plural and all of that. But let's just copy this over and paste that here. And then we'll do some console logs and make any adjustments that we need. All right. So I can either do console log this whole thing. Yeah, take one down, pass it around. 1 bottles of beer on the wall. Let's just, we can make adjustments later. Log. just want to get these console logs. And you can also just do this on one inside of one console log if you want to, and just use
What are the hotkeys you're using to change that into a string with quotes and put parentheses around the whole thing?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
The hotkeys you're using to put parentheses, you're highlighting and then you're putting quotes around the whole thing.
Yep. So what I'm doing here is just typing console.log, and then I'm highlighting the string I want and just typing shift parentheses, and it puts an open parenthesis and closing parentheses around what I have highlighted. And then I still have this string highlighted, and I just press quotes, and it adds quotes around them as well.
Do you have to hold shift and it'll do basically everything highlighted? And that's basically any type of open type parameter, it'll put it on the close at the end with shift, or is that the idea?
I don't need the shift. So I just highlight everything and just press quotes, and it automatically.
Okay.
But in order to like highlight everything in a line, I can do Command Shift and press over. And it highlights everything. Cool. All right. Let's just see if we get almost there with this. Let's run that again. Let's actually do a smaller number. Let's do like 5. So I'm typing 5 as the input. Clear. 5 bottles of beer on the wall, 5 bottles of beer, take one down, pass it around, 4 bottles of beer on the wall, blah, blah, blah. So I get down here, it says take one down, pass it around. So here's where it gets interesting. So maybe I can get rid of take one down, pass it around. Let's just get, I'm just going to comment that one out for right now and see where we're at. All right. Take one down, pass around, 1 bottles of beer on the wall, 1 bottle of beer on the wall. So I'm right here. So I need to make this dynamic. So instead of, let's just make, I don't think we have to make it dynamic, but I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do is highlight both ones, and then num bottles. I keep doing bottles. Oh, dang it. There we go. And clear the terminal. 1 bottle of beer on the wall. So we're almost there. Looks like we still have 99 as being hard coded. So we just want to start with this original amount. So with this one, I can get rid of that string, make that dynamic, highlight everything. So I'm highlighting that line and pressing the back tick, and it encapsulates that entire highlighted line in backticks. And then with this 99 bottles, I'll do this, type in the start num right there and save that. So clear, let's run that again. So where do things not match what we want the output to be? Bottles right here. So I'm just going to get rid of this 9 right there, or line 9. All right. So this part, once it gets down to 1, we want to make this bottles to be singular. What I'm going to do is use a ternary operator. Does anybody know what a ternary operator is?
This is a question
The
mark, right?
one line if else statement.
I heard Jason say it's a one-liner if else statement. That is correct. So in here, I'm going to do bottles. I'm going to, in place of the S, I'm going to do a conditional statement, which is, I'm going to use a ternary operator. I'm going to say, hey, if num bottles equals 1, or I can say is greater than 1, question mark. So that's the if, or that's the if statement, or I'm sorry. This is the if statement. And if that's true, I'm going to make an S there. Else, the colon part, else, I'm just going to have an empty string there. That means there's not going to be an S there. So this bottle, it says, hey, if num bottles is greater than 1, have an S, make it plural, else just don't have anything there at all. So I'm going to clear that and let's run that again. Oh, it's still doing it.
Does the ternary have to be inside of the curly brackets, or is it just that way because we're taking the value of something else?
It has to be within the curly braces because anything within the curly braces, you're allowed to put like inline JavaScript in. But like, so if I try to do this expression outside of the curly braces, let's just like randomly, like here, it's just going to read it as a string. All right. So, it still says bottles. Why is that?
That code is still running num bottles as 2. You just
Yep.
printed num bottles -1 on the previous instant.
All right. Can I do that then? Can I move that up 1? Will that work? Let's see.
You'll have to remove the -1 there on that print because otherwise you're going to get a 0.
Yep. So right there. So I'm changing num bottles. So I'm going to remove that. 2 bottles. All right. Take one down. It looks okay now. All right. Does that look right? Yep.
Oh, we're gonna need more than
Yes.
5 bottles for all of us.
All right. So if we did 99, sorry, go ahead. So it looks like keeps going. And then the hardest part, like where it transitioned, 2 bottles of beer on the wall, 2 to take one down, pass it around, 1 bottle of beer on the wall. 1 bottle of beer on the wall, 1 bottle of beer, take one down, pass it, no more bottles of beer on the wall. All right. And then go to the store, buy some more 99 bottles of beer on the wall. So that's one way to do it. I'm sure somebody's done it a different way, whether it's a for loop, an if else statement, but this is a solution. All right. If you solved it differently, that's totally okay. But here is one way to solve it. All right.
I do
Question?
have, yes. How did you, when you were changing the num bottles, how did you change multiple places at one time?
All right. How do I change multiple values of like num bottles at once? So maybe I wanted to change, say I wanted to change num bottles. Maybe that variable name is, I don't like it. And I want to change what that variable name is. But I've got how many instances of num bottles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 11 different instances. Instead of just changing this variable to like some like bottle nums, and then having to go down here and change bottle nums, and then going throughout the entire function to change all instances of that. I can highlight num bottles, and notice how it kind of like highlights everything of the same variable. So I highlight that one and I press Command D, and then notice how it's selecting all instances of num bottles. So I'm essentially selecting all the num bottles variables, and now I can change all instances of num bottles to bottle nums, like so. And now I've changed all of them. Super easy. And if I run that, still works. All right, so I'm done with my code. Great. Now I need to push it up or add it to GitHub. So I can do, and we'll cover this later as well. I'm going to do git add period. That means I'm going to add all the files that have changed. So I do git add, git status. And don't worry if you don't know this stuff right now. Again, we're going to cover it later. Git status. So I modified the 99 bottles JavaScript file. And now I'm going to git commit -m. And it means I'm going to commit or make a save to this on my local machine. Instructor solution. So there, I just saved this code in Git. Don't worry about it. But now I need to push it up to my GitHub. So I need to push this completed code up to GitHub. So now I'm going to do git push origin master. And now if I look up here, see how nothing's changed, but if I do a quick refresh, I've got 99 bottles in the JavaScript file. I've got the instructor solution. That's the message I put in. And it was updated 28 seconds ago. So now I need to make a pull request. So I'm going to go to pull requests, new pull requests. And in here, I'm going to say, hey, but notice on here, I went to pull requests and now I'm in Platoon algo challenges. Now I'm requesting to merge Tom Preet's 99 bottles challenge or code into the Platoon 99 bottles. I'm requesting to pull Tom Preet's 99 bottles into Platoon's 99 bottles. So I'm going to go to create pull request, instructor solution. This is one solution. And I can leave a different title, but I'm just going to leave it as instructor solution. And I'm going to create that pull request. So now you can come into here and see the file I changed. And I can also go to all the pull requests and you can see instructor solution right there. What questions do you have about that process? And we're going to go over it again.
Hey, this is Adam. I noticed that for this instance, we use the pull request on the website. Is there any way to do it through the terminal?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Yeah. There might be. You might have to download some software from GitHub, but yeah, not that I know of.
So when I try and push my Git up to the, I type in that command prompt of Git to push it up a level or push that code onto my Git, it gives a code that it's not a valid, or it gives an error. Git is not a Git command, or dot is not a Git command.
Okay. Yeah. If you're running into errors, we'll walk through that offline or have a TA reach out. We'll have a TA reach out to you to resolve that.
Okay.
Yep.
Hi, Tom. Do we need to check out the new branch?
You can check out a new branch, and we're going to get into that. It's best practice to check out a new branch, but I just didn't now because it just adds complexity to it. But we're going to cover that later on today. But yeah, if you are checking out a new branch, good on you. That's the best practice to do.
Thank you.